Okay, so um I think I'm on here to talk about uh the second application. Actually, this is after the third application. So I had two within 24 hours. Ugh. For like, things to, get rid of, bath salts to get rid of for cleansing, spiritual cleansing. For these spirits, these attachments. So I have a pack right here on my chest because I have to do that. So this is after my third application. This is the last one that I used. This bath salt here, or cleansing, bath salt here, and then I used two within 24 hours. Those are really good though. They were really good, and you can find them, online. You just go and type in, spiritual cleansing bath salts and stuff, and it'll take you to various different sites that sell them. Okay. And then just look for the title, the name, releasing negative energy, getting rid of bad or evil spirits or something like that. So it's for, like, this one is like, you can use this in a shower. This little bag right here is for you to put that in there in the tub, okay, to take a bath. All right, but I haven't done that yet because I'm a shower person. So, and then, these, they're pretty good too. So I used the one I just showed, and then another little packet. I used that one, the first one. And what I noticed is that the smaller one was stronger than all three of them. But the thing about it is that this is my first application. On here, oh, I'm so sorry. On here it says, like, that you're gonna need to do it for anywhere between 3 to 9 days straight. Okay, so because I don't know, because I have 9 days, I'm not gonna be able to do it. But 3 days, I'm barely actually gonna be keeping up with that. So that's what you need to do. So this is my first application of all of these. But you need to do it anywhere between 3 to 7 to 9 days straight. Okay, so, but let me tell you, the first two that I used, they were really good. They were really good, and you have to, well, I stand in the shower. I say, like, I'll turn the shower on, get, drenched or whatever, wash yourself, bathe yourself, and then do a thorough rinse, and then apply, that's the right way to do it, and then apply, no, because then, how are you going to be, like, fully cleansed and stuff like that, okay? So you need to, wash your body the way that you normally do, and then thoroughly rinse yourself off, because what you're going to do is take this, and I put it like in a baggie, like I don't know if you zip my bag. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I put it. But if you have like a jar, a container, or like where you can like mix it, and you want it either has to be really clean, thoroughly clean, with hot water, good amount of soap, nothing else in it. Dried out. Small container, and then maybe like what they have, like those little popsicle sticks, or just something to stir it, something clean. You want to use something brand new, all new stuff. A little baggie, but it's brand new. I have bags, Ziploc bags, but they're brand new. So I use that, and I put water in it. I even use filtered water. So what you want to do is make it as a scrub. I do showers, right? So I haven't done a bath yet, but I want to do it because I want to see which one of these works, which one is, like, how is it. Then I got the idea that when you're soaking in a bath, this stuff soaks into your skin. So, rather than a shower, even though I stand there, so after, rinsing thoroughly, then I take the scrub, whatever, the mix, you put like a little bit of water, and then you mix it, and then you use it as a scrub. Okay, unless I'm missing something here. I think it's like water, right? Let me see. Let me read this here. Let me Okay, you may put salt in the stockings, then put it in the bath or stand up and scrub. You may need several applications. What else would it be that you need to a shower, right? What else would you be mixing in there? They would send the liquid, right? They would send that would be combined with it. So again, these were ordered online. The spiritual cleansing bath salts. So yeah, I mean, if there was something else that was to be added to it, it would say that on the instructions as well. I don't see anything. I don't even see them saying water. But what else would you mix it with? You know what I mean? Like what else would you mix it with? So, anyways, so I mixed it with water. Anyways, so I mixed it with water and then I put it. I made it a scrub first, but my method was that because I don't have anything. But I would advise all new stuff. Little containers. Make sure it's thoroughly washed out. Everything. That doesn't have any a smell or anything. And whatever you're using to mix it with, make sure it's brand new or something like that, or really clean. I wouldn't even advise like silverware. I mean, you have spoons. That's all you have, and that's different. I have like plastic forks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna use one of those that's brand new, hasn't been used, and you do that. Mix it up. Or I didn't really even have to. Let me back this up because I didn't have to do that. So I had the bag, and what I'm doing is just like just like here, doing that. And you got to make sure, be careful about the water because you want it to be as a scrub. Okay, so you don't want it to be too runny or too watery because it's not going to be. But you want it to stick. So if it's too dry, but it's mixed with the water, it has to be like the right consistency of water mixed in with the scrub so that it goes on as a scrub. I did that 3 times now, with 3 different scrubs, to be honest. The first one, it was a real slam dunk. Not to say that these spirits are still around, these attachments are still present, but it was a real strong method or whatever mixture. So I have I had it somewhere, but it doesn't have a name and a proper description, so there's no reason for me to even say anything. Again, I have this bag here, this wipe. So there's 2 that came in this one. It's like $10. So I used half of it this morning or today, and I did the scrubbing, and then the rest of it I'm just using it right now for my chest area. Okay, so but the first one really was strong. Okay, so after the thorough rinsing, I take the scrub, so it's in the bag. Well, that's how I have my method. Or if you had a container, you mix it in. So it's all mixed in there. It's the right consistency or close to it. It's not runny. Okay, because that might weaken it. Okay, you don't want it to be runny, but you want it to be enough to be a scrub, to be on and not dry, because it's not going to stick to your body. Okay, and I literally put it everywhere. I'm in the shower, so I come away from the water, or you can just turn the water off at that point. That's probably a better method, is turning it off and then applying it to your body. And like I said, the first application, they were telling me, the spirits told me to do this, take this, mix it up, and get in the shower, and this should take us away, because I'm always talking about them being removed, wanting them to be casted out and all this stuff. So it was really strong and it really worked. So I forgot where I was, but yeah, put it all over your body. So it would be the best thing, because what you don't want is for the scrub, for the water to start rinsing off your body, rinsing the stuff off your body before it's time. So after you're done with your shower. If you're gonna do a shower, I haven't done a bath yet, so I can't really tell you anything. But something about, don't put it directly into your bath water, but put it like in a stocking, or something like this. They put a little bag here. You see this, and so you're supposed to put that in there, or put it in the stocking or the sock. Okay, and then put that into your bath. Okay, and then it eventually is going to dissolve and all that. And you probably need to stay in there probably a good 15 to 30 minutes or something like that. Okay, maybe, I don't know, longer, I have no idea, but I would say around 15, maybe 30 minutes. And because it makes sense, it absorbs into your skin, you know what I mean. I know with the shower, one of them, Well, one of them, I was, it's so strong that they were telling me, hey, you know, this stuff is on your skin. Like, we can't even get any close to you. We can't, like, yeah, we can smell it. And I can smell it too, you know? So yeah, so I'm in the shower, you know, and I'm applying it, and I put it on my face as well. So I don't know, it said everywhere, but when I was putting it on my face, they were kind of like, no, you know, but I put it all over my face, you know, of course not avoiding my eyes and all that, but yeah, so the first one, that's what I did. I put it all over. I'm almost so small I can reach almost every area, my body, even the back. So that's what I did. And instead of, you know, not the crevices of areas that it would be sensitive to, you know, your genitals or anything like that, but just every area. And they were saying something like more on like the areas like maybe your heart or like your stomach area, you know, that's kind of where the spirits are something like that. But anyways, every part of your body, okay? So the first application I was in for about I'm watching the time on here because I can go forever talking. But I was in there, I would say about 30 minutes. And I just stood there. But the thing about it is being careful not to put your, like they say, somebody else has to prepare this, not you. You cannot prepare it. I could not prepare this. Like, you know, put the ingredients together. Hell, probably even, well, yeah, in preparing it, putting all the ingredients together, I would not be able to use this because then I'm putting my energy onto my body, but I'm trying to get rid of, there's something wrong, with my energy, okay? Because the attachment is with me or something like that. Anyways, other people have to do the preparing and mixing up of this, you know, these cleansing salt baths or whatever it is that you're using to try to dispel of the evil spirits. Okay, someone else has to prepare it and make it, and then you buy it from them, and that way is going off of that person's energy, not yours. Okay, so that's why you want to be careful about like who you buy from as well. So make sure you know it's legit, and that's whatever you're reading about them or your company or whatever looks. You know, sometimes you can just look at something and then something about what you're looking at tells you, no, that's okay. I don't want to purchase. Or I'm not feeling that, or something like that. You want to go off of what you're seeing and your own intuition and what you feel that you're being shown. Because there's tons of these out here, tons of sites that are selling these spiritual cleansing bath salts or things that to get rid of, you know, evil spirits or, you know, demonic spirits and all that, or negative forces or negative, I think it's negative energy or something like that. One of them says, clear negative energy, protection from bad vibes, you know, evil, something like that, stuff like that. Especially when it, you have this attachment, you know, and these spirits, you're just trying to get them away from you or what have you, be free of them. So I stood there for about 30 minutes, but even within that time, being careful not to touch your body, not to like, you know, because one of them, my hand was on my stomach area, and they were like, we're coming back. Like we were leaving, but like we're coming back because you can hear that they're getting vanishing and that they were leaving, but they were like, we're coming back because you're messing everything up. Get your hands off of your body. Don't put your hands on your body. Just put it on the side of you, but don't use your energy. That's like you're using your energy. So anyways, 30 minutes seemed like a long time. I might have been there a little over 30 minutes, not an hour though. But yeah, so within that time for the first one, it seemed to work immediately. I have to get like the name or at least the package because it doesn't really give a proper description of it. It was like brown and it smells like cinnamon, that's for sure. So I don't know what the mix is, but anyways, it seemed to work fast, immediately, like right after I had applied it, you know what I mean, within like a few minutes, 3 minutes or so. And they were like, we are vanishing, or we are being pushed away from you, and you can hear it. Another thing, you want to turn off the water. I'm just learning all this stuff as I'm going. You want to turn off the water after you thoroughly rinse. Then you put your scrub on. You know, because when you have that water, as long as you have that water on, some way they use the water sound, you know, running, the sound of the water are sounds. It has to be completely quiet. Okay, that's how I lost in this last one. Okay, this last, what's it? This last scrub, which was the third one, because I had the water, I left the water running when I got out of the shower instead of turning it off. So what I'm telling you, I haven't done. So I'm gonna do that. You know, once I've really, you know, bathed or shower, what have you, then I'm gonna turn the water off and apply the scrub, and then you know, do what I do, and then wait. So it's a waiting period, but this is like healing. This is like I'm sorry, I don't want to what's the name, but I had to move it. So anyways, but no, I mean, yeah, the waiting period is kind of like a spiritual. It's like, because if you don't, like, honestly, the first application where it started to work within minutes, and I'm thinking, and the longer it stayed on, the more effective it was. And they were really saying things like, you know, be a good person, don't have us come back, change your life, we don't want to have to come back, but we will, you know, if you don't change your life. And what you need to do is release this person. That was another application. But anyways, so when you're in this thought that this is going to be it, that these spirits are going to be gone, and you're in that time and you're feeling everything, I don't really know what to say, but there wasn't like pain, or it wasn't like some sort of discomfort or like minty feeling or anything like that. It was just more mentally and spiritual, you know, experience. Because it's like, wow, these spirits leave, or they're gone, this is going to be it, you know. And then, you know, just taking that in, trying to take that in, that was profound. Just, you know, that moment, the 30 minutes of this could be it. This is possibly it, you know. And another thing, I was in a really good energy with the first one. The second one and the third one, I was in a bit of different energies. You want to make sure everything's pretty much cool, calm, and collective, that you've forgiven others, that you are not in a negative energy, because it could be bad. It actually could be bad. That's what they said. And this is when they can like attack you if you are not in a positive way of thinking or being. If you're in a negative energy, you're just gonna make things worse for yourself. So you need to find a way to get it into a better energy and not negative. Okay, so there's ways of doing that. So do it. You know, if one way or a certain way don't work for you, don't give up. Because the more you're in that negative energy, the more right and power you're giving them to do negative stuff to you. So you want to get out of that as much as possible. One of the ways is, you know, reflecting on those that you love, reflecting on love, period. Thinking about the things you need to forgive people for, the people you need to forgive, the things you need to let go of. You know, thinking about being a better person, thinking about changing, making positive changes. I don't know, just something there should work and should help. And then being genuine, you know what I mean? Just trying to be cool, calm, and collective. Sometimes, only thing that you need to do is to start being an acknowledgement of some sort of change. You know, well, my behavior is not right now, as opposed to just continuing on riding with that, you know, like, and you never change from that. But if you start to, you know, change, that can make a huge difference. You know what I mean? Falling back at times when you're not usually for that. You know, you fall back in a sense that you stop a certain type of way of thinking and being negative and everything, like, because it just stays, you know, it allows them to do all kinds of negative stuff to you. But anyways, you want to be in good spirits and a good energy when you do this scrubbing or bath. Okay, and then you also want to make sure that you're ready to let go of these, that you're ready either to do it in prayer, you know, or to yourself, within yourself, that you say, you know, that you want to let go of these, and you, the spirit, you want God to take it away, or you want a separation from these spirits. Okay, you have to say that. And there was something else, but I think it related to something else. But I do know one thing that I would do is do forgiveness, and that worked. That's possibly what worked the first time. I prayed before I got in the shower, and that was of forgiveness, and that God would help me to forgive others, and that, you know, things would go well and what have you. But not too much. Just, you know, something simple, but, you know, genuine and everything like that, because you don't want to say the wrong words that could put you in a whole different energy, and then you have to wait. You know what I mean? So, but I think one of them is, you know, saying that you want to, that these spirits cast it out of you, or that you don't give permission, you don't give permission, but that you want the spirits away from you, or cast it out of you, or something like that. Like you want separation with you and these spirits, or something like that. Or whatever, you know, comes to your mind or your heart to say. That those possibly are the words, you know what I mean? But just don't watch it. Don't be in a negative, you know, energy about it. If you're like that, like supposedly 24/7, you're gonna have to find a way to not be like that. You're gonna have to keep going and keep going and keep going until you find a moment in time where you're able to do that. You know, where the energy is not so heavy like that. But anyways, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, so you want to make sure you're in a good energy, and you want to make sure. Well, the first application was the most powerful, most strongest, I would say, most strongest. And then the second application is pretty interesting. It has like some, you know, dead flowers or what have you. Or they look like something really just picked them off the ground and stuff. So, this one was strong. But when I first put this on, this was the second application before 24 hours. But that's not the rules. The rules is every day. Or the way it says is every day. So, I guess a full 24/7. So like if you bathe at night, or you bathe like whenever, you know, you take a shower or whatever. But this second application, it's kind of hard because you have the dead flowers, and it's like a bigger substance, bigger to put on your body. So I used this, and it seemed like it was not working. I'm gonna be all honest, but I did leave it on for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And I just stood there, and I stood there, and I let it stay for about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 30. I remember standing because the salt rocks. So I'm standing. Just make sure you're not standing on it, and I just kind of tried to stand still, or whatever. Okay. Because what's happening, you're hoping that's happening is, okay, so then the voices, yeah, they did start to diminish after a while. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it took longer for me to hear that confirmation that they were leaving. Or it's a possibility that they were leaving. Well, let me say right now, they're still around, and they haven't completely gone away. But I will say that these salt baths, spiritual cleansing salt baths have helped in the sense of, you know, trying to push them back, or keep them back, or, you know, pushing them back, something like that. Almost getting rid of them, yes. So the second application, it did take a minute, you know, maybe 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. And then it started to work, and they were saying, oh, we're starting to vanish, and all this. And you better be a good person. And they're saying all these goodbyes. Okay, so they're believing that this is really gonna happen, and something about this particular one that I got, something about they were saying it's something a little bit different than that, but the first one was really strong. I want to say that. And it's, that's the one that I thought they were on. I only have one of those, and that was like in addition. I didn't even see that in the where they say, oh, well, this is what you're gonna get. Like I didn't even see that's like something additional. That's the main one, But anyways, so that first one was very strong. I really thought that was it. I thought that was going to be it, and it could have been the energy that I was in too. I want to say that, but I do believe that first one was strong. It's very strong. So I want to say that first of all, and then I think that the energy that I was in was just really good, very relaxed. They weren't fighting me or like feeling some type of way. That's the one that they actually said, this is what you need to do. You need to take this, get some water, mix it up, make it into a scrub, get into the shower, and it's going to put it all over your body, and it's going to cast this out. It's going to cast this away. So they were right about that. So these are the spirits or the attachments, that have told me this. So, so it almost, I wouldn't say it almost worked. If I had to do percentage-wise, like 80, 90%, they were almost gone. I'll go up 95, 96, 98, 97, something like that. And then something about, like, them totally being gone and the energy you need to be in order for them to completely be gone. And I'm trying to figure that out because it's something that I'm doing or energy that I'm changing into something I'm thinking that is blocking that process. And I don't like that because I want to, them to go away. I want, them to be dispelled or casted out completely, and they do too. And so something is blocking something that I am doing. I don't believe that it's spell work being done. They know that, I do believe that this whole thing is spell work. As this tarot reader said, somebody has sent this attachment to you. They sent an attachment to you, these spirits to you. But I don't believe that they're doing spell work, during that time. I think that this is my own blockage. Like this is something coming up as some negative thoughts, some negative way of thinking, or or being, some negative way of thinking. So like lack of faith is not strong enough, or just paranoia, some type of paranoia or something like that is interfering with that last process. Because I've had several situations happen now where they were almost casted out. And because of something, the way that some type of paranoia, some type of anxiety, and or both, is interfering with that. And that's from me, not from, the spell work. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that they are in tune with it, until it comes up in the readings. Because they were constantly getting personal readings on me as well. Those who are doing this spell work who have sent the attachment. But yeah, I noticed that this is something for myself. So I don't know, but all I can say is I need to continue on going forward. And now I'm being reminded of something that is really good. Because I just had a backward scene, which is something I wanted to talk about when I got on here. We had 29 minutes, so I need to be mindful of this. But yeah, so the moment was just, it was almost, and that was great. That's the first application. With the second one, I had to wait a bit, but it did, it did start to work. And then it's like it came down, like it just, it just was in and out. So I was quiet, less, like I have not been in a long time unless I'm asleep or something. Or unless I'm occupied by watching something, or what have you, on mine, YouTube or something, or something, listening to something or what have you. But as far as spiritually, like quieting yourself or something like that. I haven't done that in a long time. So, because I'm like, okay, this is really going to happen. So, when you really want something, you tend to be on your best behavior. Or you try to, or you start, cooperating and, start doing the right things. So, 'cause you really want that. So that was the second application. And then after that, after the first one, it worked so much that I guess I was content. And I got out of the shower, and I think I got it even more of or it was the same, it was just the same, and they seemed to be far away. And I think in that way they can't negatively impact your body physically. The second one, with the second application, what I'm talking about, but that one has a strong odor. So it stayed on my body for a long time. So I got out of the shower, but I want to say I gave up after like 20-30 minutes with the second one, because I was noticing that and then this one, I would say you want to take a bath with this one. You don't want to, because it has the flowers, and this stuff is something that needs to be like penetrated into your skin. It needs to, your body, your skin needs to absorb it. So you're talking 30 minutes or something like that, 20, however long you think you want to be in there, but don't like be in there too long, where your skin gets wrinkled and stuff like that. But so anyways, because I'm standing on the salt rocks, it's hurting my foot. Okay. Then, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. That's one of the reasons why I gave up. So you're talking 20-30 minutes, at least about 20-30 minutes. You have some of the spell work going on here. So after that, like, my foot couldn't take anymore. Oh, it was something that was allowed to happen with this one that I didn't like. Like, they were talking, but it wasn't like they weren't serious. Something was going on with this one. And it's like it wasn't the same energy, but like they were saying that they were able to do this or do that, but I wasn't able to feel it or whatever. So I didn't like that. I like the first one where they were like almost stopped or prevented from doing anything to me. And then it went in and out with this one too. Like they would be sounding like they're going away, but then again, like I said, with this problem, this issue, something, they'd be going there, and then it's like a paranoia or something, some type of anxiety that I have. I want to say paranoia, something I'm paranoid about or worried or scared about, and it starts to bring them back. It's just like I can't get to a particular place that allows for them to be casted out within myself. And that could be because I'm not in a place of genuine peace in my life, and or in certain ways, and or because I'm allowing certain paranoias, worries, fears, doubts, all of that interfere with this process. And when it's absolutely needed that I be in this place of peace and of assuredness, you know what I mean, of certain things, so that they can be cast out, so they can leave from me. Like this morning, they were almost casted out, or several times where they were almost casted out, and I believe because I'm using these, spiritual salt baths, you know what I mean. This morning, I have something going on, in my life, and this morning was a definite celebration of that. And the more I thought about it, the more I pondered on it, they were being like casted away. They were getting further and further away. And they said, this right here, what you're playing, what you're listening to, what you're thinking about, is causing us to vanish. It's causing us to be pushed far away. We're about to be casted out. And it almost got so close. They got really, 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 really close to them being casted out. But it's somehow they're being brought back, or it's being prevented from that, because it's almost like I can't get to a certain peak or a certain point you know, when it comes to completely closing them out. Completely closing them out by casting them out. Completely casting them out by completely closing off to something, or being completely open about something, being open to something. So I don't know what it is, but you know, this is my journey trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm still waiting for my crystals to come. So I think it said about 6 to 11 days, to be honest, of how long it takes. So I've received 3 out of 4. And they said, the spirit said, when you get these crystals, it's over for us. We're gone. We're gonna leave. But if you ever, you know, change or whatever, we're gonna be right back. And if you change in a certain type of way or certain type of energies, all this stuff, and those crystals is not gonna be good for you. You know, so this is just really, you know, been a whole learning experience as far as for me personally and stuff. But so that's the second application within 24 hours. So I got out and I noticed how strong the smell was. And but what I did do for both of them, because you've already washed and thoroughly and cleansed your body, you know, for the showers. So what I did was, and when you get out of a bath, you just, because it's observing in your skin, you're just going to use a towel, right, to dry off. So you don't even have to worry about that, okay? But for the shower, I turn the water back on to rinse, but I do like a quick rinse because I needed to stay, you know, because I'm not taking a bath, so I don't need it to be completely. So you're thinking, oh, well, let me just, nah. Even if it was like 30 minutes, even if it was an hour, you gotta just kind of be, you know, 60 seconds or something, yeah. You know, and don't like, you know, do too much of, just, just probably let the water just kind of run on your body, just, you know, and just make sure it hits all of the areas, you know, turn it around, and, you know, and make sure it gets out, you know, everywhere, but do not, you know, because you could rub it off of your skin, and that's not something you want. All right, so do a quick dip, but you want to make sure it's not still like, you know, you can see the scrubs, you know, you can see the residue, you can do it. I would say 60 seconds, 30 seconds. Some people can do it in 30 seconds, but the point is, don't, you know, rub it off of your skin, you know, grab your towel and dry off or what have you. And, with the second application, I noticed it was still on my skin. The first application, whatever that was, I could feel it on my skin. Like, I could feel like the residue, like, for some reason, it just makes your skin feel different, you know. But with the last one, this was after 24 hours, and almost 24 hours from the first one. Definitely over 24 hours from the first application. But remember, there was the second one right before the 24 hours was gone. So I'm just like, well, I just need to keep, you know, putting this on, and, you know, because, you know, I want this to happen. So, you know, every day. So I'm going to do it, and I use about half of this bag here, you know, and to make my scrub, and, you know, put it in my little baggie, or if you have a container, that's good. You mix it up with some water, just make sure it's not runny. You have to be very careful, because depending on how much you have, if you made it runny and you don't have any more, it's not gonna be good. So you might want to do it like with a cap of water, you know, and some clean water, not water you drink. That you may not want to do. Like, if you drink some water and you have it in the bottle, you might not want to add that water. It depends. Everybody's is different. But if you feel like it's something really strong, or you really want to get rid of these attachments, you might want to use everything new or whatever it is. These bags were like $1 or $22.49 or something like that. You know what I mean? You get a whole pack, you know, of 60 or 90 or something like that. Whatever. Just get a box of 40 for like $1.49 or something like that. So, you know, cheap, inexpensive things, but new. Okay, or something that's very clean. Like, if you can't afford it, then find a container or something. I mean, this is, a bottle of vitamins or what have you. You take this, you rinse it, you clean it, a little soap, dish soap, and I mean, you clean it, nice hot water, then maybe take a paper towel or wait for it to dry. Okay, and then if you have, I would use what I have, and then something that's clean. You know what I mean? And then you mix it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to use what you have. And then, just because you didn't have that is like the grace for, things to go through for you because you didn't have those things. You know what I mean? But, and then sometimes you absolutely have to do it no matter how much money you have, because it's just the way that things go. It has to go this particular way. So I would say just try to stick to, what is the instructions on what to do, because you want to be able to, you want these spirits to go, you want the process to go well, right? So it was pretty simple once I figured it out how to get the scrubs and just pouring in, that's what I'm saying, pour in the water just small and then see if it works, and then, see if how dry it is, and then put a little bit more. You might have to do it drop by drop, just pour in some, because if it goes too much, luckily for me, I have this, so I went over a little bit, so I was able to add some more. But if you don't have that, it's gonna be a problem. You have some runny stuff, and then you have to use that, and it could be weak, or what have you, or not work efficiently, so as it should. So the last one I used, and I did the same process, but only thing with this is that, well, the first two, I turned the water off before I got out of the shower. And it really means something because it needs to be quiet. Because what's happening is that it's a possibility that they're being cast out. It's a strong possibility they're going to go away. With this one, they were saying, we have to leave you alone. We can't touch you. And because of the prayer you prayed, it's something about the prayer I prayed, you have to be separate. You're going to be separate from us. We're going to be separate from you. Or something about we can't do anything to you anymore. We're banned. Something like that. We can't do anything to you anymore. Or something like that. Something like that. Because you now requested that we stay away from you. Like this one you making in the spiritual realm. You're, or for how this goes, because these are spirits, these are attachments, has been sent to you. Now you're fighting back in that realm, in that particular way, aside from just simple prayer. It's somehow you're telling them to back off of you. Somehow you're telling them that you have the right, and you don't want them to, bother you, or that somehow using this makes a stand for you against them. And it's just that's a strong thing, because that's what you want, is to tell, especially being in a situation with me, especially with the things that's happened and things that's gone on. I have to make a definite message that this isn't something I want, or that, I want it to go away and things like that. So there's some things, certain parts of this that I'm not talking about, that's happened or what have you in my experience with this. And because of that, I have to, something like this is definite. Like, I need to let them know that I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this, and I want you spirits to leave me alone, So that's the second one. So it did have, the first one worked pretty good. I didn't have to say anything. It was just working within 3 minutes, of application. And then this one took about 6 or 7 minutes to start working. It made me think that maybe it wasn't working, but from the name alone, it looks like it says be gone, evil, bad vibes, be gone, clear negative energy. And it says something about this is very powerful. This is like $7 and some change, by the way. So, it was just, I don't know, they were saying some positive things, but the thing about it is, within that 20 minutes or 30 minutes, they were saying some things that, I didn't really like, because this is a moment where I'm expecting for them to be expelled, and where I'm expecting for them to be casted away, and they're saying different things, and I'm just like, okay, this is not what I was expecting, especially with the name of this. You know, they're saying protection from all this, and it's supposed to be like, this is the first one I got because it was because of what it said, you know. So I'm like, wait, this does not work, because I tried the other one first, and that one worked, and I knew it was like, okay, I'm expecting the same thing or even more, you know, and I didn't get that. So that's what made me think, okay, yeah, what's going on with this one? But the longer it stayed on, the more I realized, like, that it was working, that it does work, but because of some paranoia, worry, fear, doubt that's going on with me, right when it gets to the point where they can be casted out, or they're about to be casted out, because that's what they're saying. We're vanishing, we're about to be casted out. Then the more, you know, so when they're saying it, then it must be, you know what I mean? So because it didn't happen, I was talking about the paranoia and the worry and the fear and the doubt. It gets to a certain point. It got to a certain point, but I didn't like when they weren't casted out, because it seemed like it could be like some type of reversal, or that they were able to somehow manipulate things or something like that. I would say this is better in the bath. I want to try this in the bath. So because of the flowers and just allowing it to be, and then there's a smell. This has a smell, but the smell is good. It smells good, like some sort of perfume or something like that. Not too sweet, but just the aroma it's a nice smell. It's not anything that's like, oh my god, you know. That reminds me, there's supposed to be something that it smells really horrible, but it works. It works. Okay. So I haven't gone to like any of these stores that sell this. Like, I just ordered this online. So anyways, yeah, I would want to take a bath with this. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay. So with that, and I was trying to complete this. I mean, I started using this. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess that's like the mixture, right? Please tell me that's the mixture, because it's starting to look like it was. Okay, yeah, it's the mixture. Anyways, so I used that, and it was different than both of those. It was like weaker or something. So I don't know, but I do sometimes, you know, put this on the top of my head when certain attacks come, when certain, you know, spell work attacks, when they do certain, and it can stop it. And it does stop it, you know, with certain ones, most of them, or I put it in front of my face or something like that to prevent it. But yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3. So I used that one, and this one I was a little bit more disappointed in, and actually I didn't stay longer than 15 minutes or less or something like that, because after 3, 4, 5 minutes, it's still the same. You know, I could hear them, but the shower was still running. And when I got out, the shower water was still running, because I don't have the habit of turning it off before I get up. But for another whole reason, but just period before this attachment was sent to me. Okay. So I forgot to turn it off. But then they told me that, and then I had to like wash some things, use water for something, and it's something about the water sound, like it's something about it needing. They told me that it needs to be completely quiet. It needs to be completely quiet, I guess, so that they can be cast out, and so that, you know, you can go to that place of peace within yourself, so that you can release them, and they can go or be casted out, you know. But if you have the water running, it's something that gives them strength, or something that they can use in order to be still heard, you know. And another thing too, they were saying, well, if you just ignored them and you didn't talk to them, you know, which I've already been told, that don't talk to the spirits, don't you're not supposed to be talking to deities, you're not supposed to be talking to voices in your head, is what I was told by another, you know, voice in my head, but I believe this was like not them. I think it was like from someone else. And from that day, and when I tried it, it was actually successful. It was actually successful. So, but then I went back to it because, I don't know, just they're around and they're always talking, they're, saying something. But I did try to close out to it, I'm so sorry, we're at 50 minutes, but I just was trying to, detail a lot of things. I would say is do what you can to, get rid of the spirits, because like they will say, they will tell you, you do not want us around, you want us to leave from you because we can hurt you, or we can, it's just not good to have us around, so you need to cast us out. This is what they're saying. So that's really interesting. My face is, seeming to have some change here because I've been using this stuff on my face as well. But if your skin is sensitive, I hope not, but maybe you don't have to put it over your face. Maybe you have to, and then something about putting it all over your whole body. So I don't know. I just put it, my face is about the furthest thing that I use. Okay, so about the furthest that I'm going to, because my hair would have to be washed and cleaned, and then pour it from the top. So I need a lot of this stuff here. This would need to be like, I need two of these, at least two of these. I gotta pour, like maybe getting a pitcher or something and pouring it. No, actually, because you can't do that. But if it's scrub, I don't know. I have no idea. But it would make sense because you're covering every inch of your body. You know what I mean? So, because your head. But I imagine, I don't know, maybe that's the missing point here. Maybe that's the missing factor here. Because at the top of your head, if there was a missing piece, and it happened to be that because this stuff is not all over my head, I'm just thinking, some way, then I don't know, because I've covered almost every part of back, neck. I'm able to touch almost every area of my body, even my back. I'm able to, just, get every area, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, I'm able to do that. Or you can use whatever cloth or whatever things they use, make sure it's clean. Make sure it's clean or that is new. The best option would be new. Some of this stuff is cheap. Get a towel, you cut it, or something like that, and use it. You know what I mean? And if you want to apply it that way, areas that you can't reach, because you want to make sure that you're getting in the areas that need to be. And not so much, I haven't put anything like under my arms or in any of the crevices of my body, because that would be too much. But it was working. It was working. It works. And my feet and stuff. I don't know. Just do what you feel led to do. Okay. But I did stand up when I was put these scrubs on my body. The scrub. I stood up the whole time. So for 15, 20, 30 minutes, I stood up the whole time. And the more I did it, the more I realized that my hands just I need to not be touching my body, so much, or really at all. Just be still, because there's a process that's actually happening instead of not. There's something that's actually happening, But I would say, yeah, because your energy, you don't want to mix your energy with, with the energy that made this stuff. You don't want to mix that in, okay? So, but with this one, I would say that I pretty much gave up. I have to be honest about that, because I probably gave up after 10 or 15 minutes. I was just like, yeah, this is not gonna work, or this isn't working, or something like that. Was there any effect? It's kind of reminded me of what was going on with the second one, when they were talking and saying certain things. I'm just like, you guys are supposed to be getting casted out. Like, why are you so comfortable? So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go through that. I need something that's working. But then I was thinking, I need to stay. And they were like, oh, if you had stayed, then we would have been casted out. It would have worked, pretty much. And I'm just like, wow. So just staying. But again, it has this. So I think ideally it's, bath. But I think the first thing that it says, it says put it in bath or stand up and scrub. So the first one is bath. So that's the first suggestion to this. And again, like I said, it's probably because it's absorbing into your skin. You know what I mean? It's getting into your skin, and so it's gonna work. But it takes 3 to 7 to 9 straight applications. So that's back to back. 3 days straight, 7 days straight, or 9 days straight. And 9 would probably be for a situation like myself, but who knows? It could be gone within that time frame that they're saying, with a bath, okay, or shower, So, anyways, looks like I'm only gonna be able to do 3, just because of my affordance availability. But I'll definitely, keep doing this and using it. That's why I got the stones, the crystals, the healing crystal stones. So, using other alternatives until I'm able to. But this, I would say, is like one of the strongest methods. The spiritual cleansing bath salts, okay, to cleanse away, negative energies, bad spirits, demonic forces, all that. This is really good because it's for your body. Something about you, something about, I don't know, something about you, your body, because these spirits are around you, and they were sent to you, to your person. Okay, so when I got out of the shower for this second one here, I want to stress that the aroma is something that kept them away. They were like, they were like, we don't want to be, around you. We still smell the aroma is pretty strong, and you can smell it too, but it's not bad. It's not a negative or, a bad smell or anything like that. It's just, then it has like gold or something like this, like some sort of gold on your skin. It leaves that. They were saying something about you're changing, we can see you in a different way and all this stuff. So it is a spiritual, experience, but you being in this type of situation, having to deal with, the attachments and spirits, and being able to hear audibly these spirits, is like it could be like the scariest experience, you know what I mean? Depending on what is being said and depending on what they're saying, but just it are strange, you know what I mean? And we're now going on 4 months now. So for me, it's starting. So I'm pretty, I don't say desperate, but I'm pretty much, willing to do what is needed to be done for this situation. So, but I'm just talking about this process, like what I'm going through and what works, what doesn't work. And just hoping that, I think each time, I'm hoping that it didn't work. I'm just like regretting, like, what the heck didn't I do? You know what I mean? Because like they said, they're saying you don't want us around you. Like, because we really can do this to you, really can do that to you. I did have an experience. I would say the more you give into them, and whatever ways that is, listening to them, I would say, and not relying on like your own faith or on God, and your own intuition, not what they're saying, when it comes to certain things or just period, the more they're able to affect you. So I want to say that, this last phase of the things that they've been able to do they're very different than, more impacting than it was before. And so, yeah, it is. And that's because of me having given in or listening to them, more. You know what I mean? It's like believing that you start believing the way that they're saying, and they're telling me the more you believe us, that we can do the things that we're saying we can do to you, the more you're able to, the more things we're able to do to you. Like if you don't believe it, then chances that it's not going to happen. There's a good chance it's not going to happen. And they'll say things like, you're messing up what we're doing. Like the other video I said, I noticed that it seems like they're moving my body, or like that my body is shaking. But if someone were to look at me, or when I look at myself, my body is not shaking. But it seems like that in your mind, or because it's a spiritual attack or what have you. But I'm like, my body was moving one time, and then I looked down, and the more I focused on that and zoomed in, I'm like, but my body's not moving. And it actually broke the spell. It actually broke that particular spell that was going on. And they were like, you are ruining what are you doing? You are ruining the spell, So that's really, how I've been surviving is, by dismissing and disregarding belief in what they're doing, because I pretty much know too much about faith and about, what God has for me or a believer, and the differences, and know things about the Bible that, pretty much, will combat, negativity. After a while, I'm just like, wait, hold on, because you're not making any sense. Time-wise, you're taking forever with this, and, certain things is not matching up, so yeah, and more than likely, this is something that I need to continue listening to or something. All right, so I'm going to end it here because I've been saying a lot. And, but yeah, just, so I guess in a sense, I'm trying all of these. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know. I'm not one for trying. I am one for trying one and using it time and time and time again before I try another one, because I want to know the effects. But I'm in a situation where I can't really afford to do that pretty much. So that's why I'm using it like this. I'm having to use it like this. So it looks like it's only going to be 3 days. I took a shower earlier. I'm going to take another one with this one that didn't turn out so good. Or I'm going to, so that's a shower. And with this one, I'm going to take a bath. Do this. I mean, I could do it again, but I didn't like the results of it. But something about like, but if you, well, I don't want to tell you, but it just takes time with a bath, you just have to wait and stuff like that. So use the things that you use when you're protecting yourself, if it's your head, or like I said, I use the color red to protect myself over my head, or black. And whatever, use that, or if it's prayer, or if it's a certain way of thinking that helps you, during those spells that they do, because this is going to take time. This is, 30-minute bath, 40-minute bath, with any of them. If you use this one too, or any of these, spiritual cleansing bath salts in a bath, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and I assume I was going to play like some regular music, like jazz, or like something that doesn't have music, just music, no words. But the thing is, at one point, you're going to need for it to be silent. Or maybe, I assume that it may not be like that for every person, but for me, but it's pretty quiet when you take a bath. But if you have music on, it depends. Because everything don't work for every way doesn't work for every person. For me, it needs to be absolute silence for some reason, or it needs to be possibly the right type of music, background, so that it can, maybe possibly help dispel that. But that's going to take time for me to discover what, which one and what. I have in my mind to use this until they run. Okay, so off and on, all this other stuff, but however long I need to, take a break from it, okay, and then back on to this, okay, because like they're saying, I don't want them to be around. I want them gone or what have you. So that's what I'm going to be doing, using this. And I can't wait to get the crystals, because I'm going to be using those as well as a way to combat this situation, but this seemed to be one of the best ways, because I'm not really able to get to another place spiritually, with my diet and routine, be able to consecrate or do any type of fastings that would really help with this. I'm just not able to do it right now, just because of something that that's been going on with me, that really since, or actually for a longer time. So, not able to, I don't want to say bench press, but, able to get to a certain point, just because you haven't been exercising, you haven't been putting in the practice necessary, so you're not able to get to a certain point. So this is really, really helpful, okay? And another thing that's probably been helpful for this is that I've dwindled down. But I would suggest whatever it is, like whatever point you're at, just use it, But I think for me, since I made the steps to, be a little bit more greener, to lessen the types of bad foods that I eat, or unhealthy choices of foods, since I've lessened that it's helped to a certain extent, as opposed to, like, if I wasn't at that point, I was just eating regularly and doing whatever, whenever I got these, I was going to use them. Okay, so let me just say that. But I think that it does help. Okay, I think that it does help. And so I would say wherever point that you're at, wherever you're at, just, go ahead and try to use it. And whatever the situation is, then that's what it is, So I'm going to use this today, and then tomorrow will be like the last of all of it, you know what I mean? But it's really been helping me fight off and ward off. So I don't know, but I might try to keep one, because I do have enough for 2 applications with this one. So like today I'll do one, and then tomorrow I'll do another one, and then maybe just like keep this one around, because this one seems to be very powerful. But I'm not sure for this whole situation. I don't know. So anyways, it's a lot, and I'm just, already, not over the situation, but, just ready for it to be, over with and everything like that, because it's just been going on for a very long time, and it seems to be getting like worse or more intense and everything like that. So, and I don't know exactly how, but like I said, the more you get into them and things like that, the more effective they are to you, or the more susceptible you are, or something like that. So that's why using this right here was very powerful, a very good move for myself. Okay, so just continue to fight and to do what you need to do. I want to say that method of closing them out and not talking to them was very strong, because once you open yourself up to them, it's just the worst thing. It's just the worst thing. Then you have these conversations that, you're not really wanting to have, and, different things they're wanting you to do or to think about, some being of things that you're just not open to. And then one of them is, suicide, and or, you taking yourself out. This has been my experience. This has been, and I understand that according to this tarot reader, it told me all about all of this stuff, the attachment spirits being sent to me, and the fact that there are persons or people that I know that are doing spell work against me, and that they are the ones that sent the attachment or sent these spirits to me. So, I know that, wait a minute, because I'm trying to say something here, but I hate when I do that, because it just throws me off. Something throws me off. But anyways, I don't know how I forgot all about that, but anyway, you just want to make sure that you are, doing as much fighting against this whole thing as possible, okay? because oh yeah, so they're saying all this stuff. I don't know how I forgot about something that important. Yeah, they're telling you to take yourself out in some way, trying to convince you that you need to die, you need to go away because of your sins and stuff like that. But for my belief or religion or faith, that isn't something that we take on, because we are believing that God has taken that away by sending his son to do that, to die for our sins. So anyway, you just need to continue to stay positive and stay strong in your faith, believing in God, and just knowing that you are just fighting, you know what I mean, just fighting against the negativity, fighting against lies. Also, the person that told me to stop listening to these spirits was saying that the devil is going to always lie. The devil is always going to lie to you and lie on you. He wants you to believe certain things so that you can he can trick you out of your life or what have you. Another thing too is me not just knowing or thinking that these are deities, which they're saying that they are, and which I believe that they are, but that they're not like so much connected to these people who are doing the spell work. But it just, to me, all this whole time it seemed like that. So that's how I've been really thwarting and dismissing them, because I'm thinking of it as these people who are doing the spell work. Like they're completely wrong. This isn't right. They should allow God to handle the situation. That is obviously a God situation. If you think a person should die for their sins or what have you, whatever that is, really that's for God to judge them, and you know what I mean? And especially if they haven't done anything to you that warrants for you to, try and attack them and all this other stuff. So, anywho, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll come back to me, whatever I was trying to remember. But let me see. Was there something else? I mentioned some things on the other one. About the things to use. But I think it's a learning process. Like you have something that you have to learn, like lemon, whatever it is. Like for me, I see that lemons, but then it's kind of like a reversing, because things were starting to change over, and so then what, and they were like, oh yeah, so it started to change over. So now the lemon is like an issue. It was working against them, but then they somehow were able to use it against me. And I guess when I was in another energy, just eating regularly, it did work against them. But I have no idea. Just trying to figure out all this stuff. I just want these spirits gone away from me, like forever. And I just hate that it's gotten to this point. And hoping and praying that that they will be gone and dispelled. Now I did have, well, I don't know if I should say this, but just keep, being positive and, using the methods that you see, or you hear about that works. And then, and just keep, being positive and hopeful that they're going to, be dispelled, and that they're going to leave you, and be casted out. Because that's what you have to do. You have to be hopeful. You have to be prayerful that they're gonna leave. And you have to want that every minute of the day in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So, but I do know being in a negative way of thinking is not good. So today, because I was in a negative way, and I usually do this when I did this before these attachments came, and whenever I'm trying to do good, or whenever I'm trying to be on a positive, anytime I call myself trying to make a change, down the right path, like eating well, eating really good, or what have you, I have this habit of, if I go to the left, like going off on somebody, like completely going off on them, or being ugly towards somebody or something like that, or have something that I've taken offense to, and then I acted really ugly, I got upset with them. I'm like cussing at them and, all this stuff. Then for that good deed or whatever I was doing, working on, I'll stop that progress because I feel like I was wrong, you know. So I think stopping the progress and staying there at that point. And some ways that I do this is like I'll break from, you know, I say I was on like salads and fruits and stuff like that. I'll break from that and eat like a bag of chips or something, and that would break it up, you know. I see that doing things like that is a way, for at least for me, that I deal with, because this goes like beyond. This is so deep, you know. You're talking about, you know, you having problems or issues because of yourself, because of something you're doing or something you're not doing that's right to others, or just the way that you are. So you know, you can't, for me to continue on in that way, you know, I'm exercising, I'm doing all this stuff, then you go off of people, and we do that, you know what I mean. We do have those moments where we, you know, we get upset, we get mad, but there's something about it. So I guess even for my type of persons or whatever, that's something that I do. So today, I mean, I was going really good, going really moving forward, you know, in my really dieting routine, and I had to make a move, like what I'm saying, because of something that I did. I figured it was the right thing to do. And then when I'm thinking about it now, it's making me think like that's because I've been doing it for like the past like few years, 3-4 years or something like that. Because I've been doing that is my major setbacks to me. I need to figure out something else, but truthfully, that's what you need to do. If I don't do it that way, then I need to figure out something else to do. Because something needs to be done, because something was wrong. There was a wrong that happened, so you need to right it. You need to, you know, you need to be nice. You need to be giving out some type of gifts or something. Or you need to, you need to fix it somehow. And, you know, because you're saying that you're straight and you're good, but you're like totally going off on people and being ugly and all this stuff. But again, this is my own experience, and this is for me. I wouldn't advise this really, unless, you know, if this seems like your message or some part of it is resonating with you, you know, still pray about it or have it, or think about it and see, you know, if that's something that you need to do. I'm just trying to explain, you know, how I've gone backwards in my routine when I know that the best way for me is to stay away from certain things. Okay, so because it's not helping with this process, you know. But because of this other situation, which is the main issue that I had, you know, going off and getting upset and getting arrogant, irate, you know, getting angry and stuff. And then again, this is at the spirits, you know what I mean, because they did something, or they're bothering me, or something they did, or something I didn't like, or something. And I got upset and I got irate. It's so funny because it's not funny, but it's like they say they are spirits of God. They're deities of God, or they're spirits of God. So you have to. It's not them that's the problem. They're who they are because that's the way that the situation is. But you're the one that have to, you know, I find in this situation, I'm the one that have to correct my behavior. I'm the one that have to correct my attitude. I'm the one that have to, you know, correct myself. It's not them, you know what I mean? It's me. You know, needing to be careful of the things I say and do. Because if not, you know, I'm going to have to suffer some type of consequences, like being in control and the good management of your feelings and your emotions. Because if you lose control, then you're going to lose something. You're going to have to pay in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know, so I know that's like a bit detached or a bit far-fetched, or, you know, kind of out there, what have you, I don't know. Not so much into like what I'm saying, but I'm just, you know, speaking from my experience. It's been talking about like what I'm going through with this situation, and you know, the different things that contribute to it. You know, like I said, I believe that, you know, this was allowed to be sent to me, this attachment, because of the energy, that me being in that negative energy all the time. And then also too, not having someone, like I don't have, not live by myself, single living person, never married type of thing, not even, boyfriends or anything long term, or, anything like that. It's just, me for the most part, so when you don't, so that's the thing, and when you're around people, it's a different thing, they kind of leave you alone, or depending on what it is. But the more selfish you are, the more self-centered, the more you, arrogant, egotistical, like all this stuff, and then being a tyrant, and then complaining and just all that negative stuff. The more rights they have to be like around and to be tormenting you, or causing you some sort of irritation or something like that, or being in your life. So I don't know, but I wish I could just close out, you know what I mean, and go backwards. So you want to be careful, don't go too far with them. Just trust God, have faith, and try to if you can close them out, that'll be good, which means you don't respond to them. You just live your life. You just do what you did. Because I did do that for a moment, for some days, like maybe a week or so, and it went successful. I ignored them, and I just, did what I needed to do. But the more I opened up to them, and that's when it was just trouble and problems. Okay, so I could try to do that again. I don't know. But anyways, so I had a backwards move in my routine, for my diet routine to be exact. And but this is the reason why, because of situations like this. And the thing is, that type of situation overrides me holding that position. It overrides that. So it could have been something lesser than what I chose, but nevertheless, that situation, of going off like that, being upset, and not being able to control my anger, or getting upset, and it's just not right. It's not acceptable. That's what's gotten me into a lot of trouble. That's it's just so not acceptable. It's not even funny. That's just the way that I'm dealing with it. It could be just, me personally, that's my personal situation. Okay, and that's what I have to deal with. So, it is what it is. But, and from looking forward, it's just like, okay, so I just need to continue on, because, and it's not going to be like that 100%, where I'm staying in a good mode and all that stuff, but just as much as possible. And then sometimes it's all about admitting that you're wrong, and stuff like that, and then you wouldn't even have to, you can avoid all of this, if you just been honest about the situation. So I just a reminder to myself as well that just keep going, and not to be worried about these types of setbacks, because really there's an override. There's a need for an override, because it's too much. Or you can possibly pray, but it just seems like some things there's a need for some type of giving away or giving out or something. So even if I went and spent time with like a friend, or someone that I knew, or gave a gift or something like that, something that I don't typically doing something that is different than what I'm doing. Anyways, I don't want to go too much into it. I think I'll confuse myself here, but so like I said, I'm on here, just talking about my experience and everything like that. And while this is like you know, these are like an hour or over an hour. I would suggest, you know, just fast forwarding, listening to about 15 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you want to. But yeah, just fast forward. You know what I mean? If you want to listen to the whole thing, that's, you know, you can do that. But listen about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, however long you want to. Okay, and fast forwarding, you'd be surprised. You may skip over something that, you know, or you may take you to a point of something that you really need to hear. Okay, so because they're very long and they're really particularly for those who you know, are going through this situation, and or those who know someone that is. Okay, so that's pretty much what this, you know, what these videos are for. Right, so anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. I feel like I talked about everything that I pretty much need to talk about, and everything like that. I'll be back on talking about these 2 applications if my crystals come, and just more about my experience, you know, with these attachments having been sent to me. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and see you on the next one.